everyone, we are here to talk about the Brinc XDC launch program. I'm Aneri Merchant, the investment manager at XDC Tech, the venture arm of the XDC blockchain network.
And I'm Aaron Cooper. I'm a managing director of Brinc.
So Aaron, why don't you brief me a little bit more about what is Brinc and what does the Brinc Web3 Accelerator program actually do?
Sure. So Brinc is a global venture capital platform that manages venture capital strategies and operations on behalf of governments, corporates, and investors. This includes everything from investment thesis creation, deal sourcing and evaluation, all the way to portfolio value creation, which is where a lot of our accelerator programs sit. The core purpose of any of Brinc's accelerator programs is to help companies be more successful in an accelerated period of time. So Neri, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what XDC is?
So XDC is a layer 1 EVM compatible network. We started our mainnet way back in 2019, so we are live since almost 6 years now. And we love to call ourselves the OG RWA chain because we started off to be a blockchain for more real world business applications. Just recently, we closed our partnership with SoftBank Japan, helping us expand more into the Japan and the South Korea region. Now, we are really very excited to partner with Brinc and get on to this excellent Web3 Accelerator program, which would help get a lot of exciting projects onto the XDC network. XDC and Brinc have recently launched this partnership program. So why don't we get into the more specifics of it for the audience and what do we plan to achieve out of the program at the end of 12 weeks?
Well, the sole purpose of the XDC launch program is to get teams into a position where they can successfully list the token by the end of 12 weeks. The first 8 weeks of this program is purely dedicated to ensuring that they have the right foundations to achieve this. This includes everything from company positioning and product positioning, tokenomics design, launch strategy, fundraising campaign designs, everything that they need to basically be more comfortable with getting in front of investors, getting in front of users, getting in front of listing managers. But then by the end of that 8 weeks, it really switches gears and it really goes into execution mode, right? Where they're having to really form those partnerships with market makers, think about building leverage needed to successfully launch their token, in addition to actually forming the partnerships with the listing managers themselves, so that by the time when they end that 12 weeks, they are able to really communicate to the market and other investors the date of their listing.
What kind of support and resources does Brinc provide to these projects to successfully launch a token by the end of 12 weeks and build a sustainable business?
Well, we utilize a load of different program formats and access to resources to make sure that these teams are going to be successful. We host a load of different workshops and panels, which gives teams access to high-profile individuals that they wouldn't necessarily have access to. We do a lot of one-on-one mentorship, which is purely designed to really drive into the specific challenges that some of these teams are facing on their journey towards listing their token. Beyond that, we have access to a humongous network of investors, corporates, users, market makers, even listing managers, everything that a team would really need to be in that position to successfully list. But I think one of the additional things that is really exciting about this program is the fact that XDC also has a load of resources that they're bringing to the table too. Maybe you can share a little bit more about what those resources are.
Sure. I think in addition to all the exhaustive resources that Brinc does more in terms of business, fundraising, XDC complements it with funding and technical integration. So for every project coming out of the Brinc program, which has successfully launched a token, XDC would give a funding of up to $100,000 to these projects and also provide a variety of technical resources. So that could be in terms of developers who are really well equipped to handle the entire blockchain integration for each of these projects coming onto the platform. It could be in terms of providing industry mentorships within our ecosystem, which complements these projects and helps them to forge partnerships or provide any kind of additional mentorship that they would require. But apart from this, I think what's really important are the combined efforts of Brinc and XDC, mainly in terms of the entire program, with a cherry on cake being the demo day and the fundraising initiatives that we would do. This would definitely help the projects launch a sustainable business in the long term, but in the short term would give them enough runway to survive the market cycles, establish a product market fit, and commercially launch the platform. So Aaron, Brinc and XDC are doing a lot from their side in terms of providing support and resources. But I'm a little bit curious about how do we ensure that these projects would be able to successfully launch the token by the end of 12 weeks?
Good question, Aneri. I think when every team starts the program, we do a little bit of a deep dive with them to really kind of understand and map out exactly where they are and the real things they're going to need to achieve in order to be in a position to successfully list. We craft specific strategies at the very, very beginning, and then throughout the program on a weekly basis, they're going to be continuous check-ins with program managers to ensure that they're hitting milestones, they're getting access to the resources that they need to really have that momentum to be in a position by the end of the 12 weeks to tell the world about what it is they've achieved, what kind of progress they're making, and then hopefully, more importantly, highlighting a key date for a TGE. And I think the real objective for us is to make sure that at that end of 12 weeks, at the big demo day that's coming up, that they are able to communicate that key date. Maybe, Aneri, you want to share a little bit more about the plans that we've got for Demo Day this year?
Sure. So our Demo Day would be scheduled sometime in Feb 2025 during the week of consensus, where we expect a lot of global investors to come into Hong Kong. We would be giving each of the projects who are a part of the cohort around 5 minutes to pitch to these investors and potentially gain funding from these investors. And I think the entire objective here is also that it would be a good validation for Brinc and XDC when there's an external capital coming in these projects and securing a significant runway for these projects going forward.
So for investors that are interested in getting access to these teams, learning about them, and more specifically getting invited to the demo day, what it is that they need to do?
So I think Brinc and XDC are pretty much active on social media, where we regularly post updates about the accelerator programs. So good idea would be to subscribe to our social media accounts, as well as we have a dedicated Brinc XDC website where we would be posting updates about our upcoming demo days, about the projects that are there in the program, and also our initiatives going forward. So this would basically give all the investors the progress that these projects have made from week 1 to week 12.